Hey guys, Becky here with Design Bundles, and I'm super excited to have you join me today as we give you another great sublimation tutorial. This time we are in Silhouette Studio and we're showing you how easy it is to print from Silhouette Studio using your Sawgrass Print Manager. Alright guys, so here we are in Silhouette Studio. Now, Silhouette Studio, I feel, at least in my little scope of the world, is very popular for designing and printing sublimation designs. A lot of that is because it is initially free. Now, there are upgrades that you can unlock additional features, but to be able to import and create your own designs and use fonts, all of that is absolutely free in the basic version of the software. So that's really awesome. That also means that you can try it out before you ever decide to upgrade. So it's also not like a free trial where you have like 2 weeks and then you have to upgrade. Okay. Like literally it's a free program. And then even if you decide to upgrade, and that is a one-time purchase, it's not auto renewing or something you have to pay for repeatedly. But one thing a lot of people don't know, because Silhouette Studio is common, I believe, like more in the Epson sublimation world, but you can actually print directly on your Sawgrass printer also using Silhouette Studio. So that's super exciting for me because I love Silhouette Studio, and I think it can be exciting for you guys too. So let's go ahead and jump in. This is going to be very quick and to the point. We're going to cover just, the basics of bringing in, sizing your design, setting up your page, and then printing, okay? This is also with the assumption that you have installed the Sawgrass Print Manager, okay? Because that is something that we covered in our unboxing of the Sawgrass printer. So if you need help with that, make sure you check out that video. But we're going to assume that you're already past that point, okay? The first thing I want to talk about is your page setup panel. It's over here in the top right-hand side of your toolbar. It's the very first icon. And this very first page here, we are going to talk about what settings you want to use. Now, because we're not using this, I'm not showing you a tutorial on how to do a print and cut. I'm just showing you a tutorial on printing from your machine, or rather from the software, and not using your machine at all. We're going to change the machine to none. That automatically changes the cutting mat to none. And then for media size, what we want to do, because I print on an SG500, I'm going to just choose letter size. All right. You can also, if you don't want to use the drop down, you can input manually your page size here. And then down here, about halfway down, is your orientation. And then really, really important is going to be your print border. Your print border is important because this is how you know how much of your design is going to print on the page. Because what we're setting up here is exactly how it's going to print out of your printer. Now, a little bit more work. What we want to do is we're going to go ahead and go to File and Print. Now it gives us a preview. There's nothing on there. That's okay. We're going to go ahead and hit print at the bottom. This is like fake printing, okay? And what we want to do is go ahead and select the Sawgrass Print Manager. And we're going to go to Preferences. All right, and this is where you just want to go ahead and select your page size. And if you want to, you can, mess with the orientation or the pixel density. Okay, but the reason that this is important, let me show you. Let's cancel back out. Let's make this a legal size paper. Okay, now with my print border turned on, do you see where my gray line cuts off? So what that means is that only things within this gray line are going to print. Okay, so if I go to the Print Manager and go to Preferences, I can switch this to legal size, hit OK, hit Apply and cancel all the way back out, and it updates. And I know it's a little hard to see because it's a gray line, but it updates my gray line to fit my entire page. Okay, so I go ahead and do that in the beginning, guys, because I feel like if I take these steps in the beginning, then that is going to set me up for success. I don't get caught up in, how things are going to work out or the size of my design or anything like that. I just know that right from the beginning, and I'm just switching it back to letter size now. okay, and see how it goes back. But that's okay because I'm printing on a letter size piece of paper. So I just wanted to show you that if you go ahead and, like I said, set all that up in the beginning, we have the right page size, we have the right printer selected. Now whatever we put on here is what is going to print out to our Sawgrass printer, okay? So let's go ahead and import our photo. We can just go to File and we'll go to Merge. And the difference between file and merge and file and open is if I file and open, it will open a new page. If I file and merge, then it's just going to go ahead and open an existing file into the existing page that I'm at now, okay? Now don't forget, you always have to extract your files. So if you haven't done that yet, go ahead and do that. You can do it right here when you go to open, okay? And that literally is our file. So for, like an adult size shirt, I do want to print as large as I can. All right. And also, if you take a look, sometimes when you import, it will include the background. All right. There is a way to get around that if you're using PNG files that have a transparent background. Okay. Now for this one, it doesn't make a difference because this is exactly how we're going to print, but just know that there is a difference in how this is going to work, so to speak. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut off the top and bottom because the size of my design, and when I mean size, like if I click on this design, you'll notice up here in the top, it gives me the width and the height. And the width and the height is going to reflect that entire square. Not just my design, but the entire image area. So I just go ahead and take off the extra and I feel like I can size it more accurately. Okay, now I am going to stay at, we'll do 8.25. And then I can come over here and rotate my design and center it to the page. So that is pretty much as large as I'm going to go on a letter size sheet of paper. Now don't worry guys, we do have videos that are coming out, it may already be out by the time you're watching this, on how to print larger designs. But for now, I mean, this is not a bad size. You're getting almost 9.5 inches wide, okay? So another option that you have, and you don't have to do it this way, but if you're used to using Silhouette Studio with heat transfer vinyl, you may choose to go ahead and flip your design. And what that means is that you don't have to rely on your printer to flip it. But, and this is key, remember this, if you flip it in the software, you do not want to also flip it with your printer. All right, so you pick one or the other, because if you flip it and flip it again, then it just comes out regular. Okay, so very, very important. So let's go back up to print. There's our preview now. It's just regular. I'm going to hit print. I'm going to choose Print Manager and choose print from here. And what that's going to do is it's going to send the file to Print Manager to act as that intermediary between the software and the printer itself. Okay. Now, if you've already printed from your Sawgrass, this part should not be too surprising, but just in case it is, we'll talk about it. Now, you can choose your substrate, obviously. Now, I'm believing that I'm just going to go ahead and print this out maybe for a shirt. I can leave high quality. I'm just going to leave the paper at the default, and the source tray obviously is still tray 1. And here's where I would choose to mirror or not mirror. So just remember, mirror here or mirror in the software, it's up to you. If you're new to sublimation, just go ahead and let the printer mirror it for you. But just make sure you're paying attention either way. Obviously my printer is selected at the top, and we can just go ahead and choose print. And now it's going to send that design to print out on my Sawgrass 500. Now, that literally is as easy as it gets. There are not really any downfalls to using this method to print. I have heard some people talk about, and this part is true, Silhouette Studio does not use color profiles, but because we're printing through that Print Manager, then you shouldn't have any worries as far as, making sure that your color is true or anything like that. So for the most part, guys, I mean, this is it's the end of our tutorial. So I printed out this design, really, really super cute. And, you know, hopefully I will use this on a shirt for myself, or maybe make a cool little gift for a friend. But that's it, guys. Super easy, right? Let's go ahead and wrap it up. So guys, how did you feel about printing from Silhouette Studio using your Sawgrass Print Manager? Now, of course, you guys know if you watch any of my videos, I'm a huge fan of Silhouette Studio, but I'm fairly new to Sawgrass, so I was really excited to see just how easy it was to print directly to my Sawgrass printer. Now, I know a few of you have a few concerns because I think we've all heard about Silhouette Studio may not print the best color. And I'm happy to tell you that we do have some comparison videos coming, but from my initial test, I'm happy to report that using your print manager, I believe, will give you the same true colors that you're used to getting, and it's really going to be a simple transition for you if you're already used to using Silhouette Studio to design or print other items. So, of course, if you have any questions or comments, definitely make sure you leave those down below. I always love hearing from you guys, and I love all the support that you show for the channel. And speaking of support, make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. I love all the support you show, and it really helps us to keep the little channel going and to keep bringing you more videos in the future. So I'm going to wrap it up for today, guys, but I do really appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you again next time.